the best description I found in a book by Robert Caillois, which is, he speaks about vertigo, but he describes sliding as being a voluptuous panic upon an otherwise lucid mind. I think that's a very nice way of putting it. But it's always interesting to see how people look when they come down the slide, and it has to do with its shape. So even if, and that's something I would like to try here, if we have two very similar slides, absolutely the same shape and length, but mirrored, one turns you the left way around and the other the right way around, what kind of difference is there? How is the experience of sliding affected by the shape of the slide? But it's not that you slide down with somebody else. It's more that you can do it at the beginning. You can step in at the same time. If the two entrances for the two slides are really like binoculars next to each other, or like glasses, and then you and your friend, for instance, take off at the same time, then you will be able to, for milliseconds, see each other going parallel. Then you make a turn, and then you come closely, you come next to each other one more time before then you separate, not forever, but for the experience of sliding. So then it goes really into very different directions. To go into a slide is about letting go. You have to trust not only the German engineering and in terms of safety, but also you have to let go. There's no way you can brake, or you can influence the course of the journey. So you're physically forced into some kind of body maneuver that is directed by the slide, which is the whole beauty of it, really. It's almost impossible not to come down with a smile, so it's a kind of, it's like a happiness-producing machine. Even if you really actively try to resist it, you will not succeed. But then it's also like we think slides are for children, and I wonder why. I have a theory about that, because of course they're for children, but they're not only for children, they're for everybody. Why are we not using them? I think this moment of craziness that is induced when you're using the slide, it's okay for children because they are crazy anyhow in a certain way. But as a full-grown adult, you shouldn't really do that anymore, which is something we should overcome. I don't believe in that. I think the potential of the slide goes much beyond just children using it. It should be good for everybody, even though it should be admitted it introduces a moment of craziness into your life. Since you have the escalators and the stairs in the same central part of the building where the slides are going to be, it's making a reference to the functionality of the slide as being an object of transportation, of moving people's bodies from one place to another, and also of asking the question, why is this not much more common that we're using the slide? In this sense, it's good we're standing here on this pedestrian bridge. It's another form of making a connection between one place of the city to the other. But then behind you can see this now, but you have very tall towers, and it could as well be slides going from the towers to the other side, or connecting the towers in between. And it's actually, Brisbane is a perfect place for building slides everywhere and using this as a form of bringing people from one place to the other. So hopefully the slide here is going to be like a model slide, and then architects and politicians in the future can bring it out in the real life context, and then we can see what it really does to the people, because the experience of sliding is quite a dramatic one. And if you're doing this every day, I'm convinced it's going to change you in a way that we don't know how, but it will be a different world. The experience level is one level, which you can now have here in a model situation, which is the museum. So that's something that you can actively take home as some kind of material to work with on your own terms, depending what kind of person you are. It gives you a very peculiar experience, which you cannot have anywhere else in Brisbane, and especially interesting now because we have this double situation where you have two times the same. Still, they will be quite different in terms of how you experience the moment of sliding. But I don't think you have to do it. It's enough to think about other people doing it, and also to understand the slide as a very, sculptural proposition. It really is that too. It's just a form and a space, and it works very well in its own abstract terms. Plus, it has, an architectural function and a proposition for outside going into the city and having it not only in the museum model context, but also in the real life.